It's time for my recent reads and thoughts. Let's get into it. Hello my friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Kim. I'm so excited you're here with me today. Today we are going to be doing a reading wrap up. We're going to be going through all the books that I read in April and May. So let's chat some books. We're going to start with my April reads. Now April was really hard for me. I went through a hardcore reading slump in April and I really didn't read many books at all. Well, I tried to read a lot of books. I just didn't finish many books. So I ended up finishing 3 books in April. So let's go through those 3. The first book I read was a Kindle read, and it was technically a novella, and that was The Dare by Harley LaRue. This book is a spicy novella. It follows our female main character. She was a bully in high school, and now it is a few years later, and she is back for Halloween, and she's going to a party. At this party, she runs into one of the guys that she used to bully in high school. They end up playing a game, and she ends up losing, so she ends up being his basically slave for the night. And then she runs into his friends, which are the other 3 guys that she bullied in high school, and things go from there. It's a very, very spicy novella. It takes place in one night, one Halloween party night, and it's a really quick read. It's really fun. It's really fast. You can read it in only a few hours, and it's definitely not like a very heavy or in-depth plotline. It is a novella, and it is just a spicy little Halloween party, so keep that in mind if you're just looking for something fun and spicy that you can just kind of sit down and fly through. This is a great option for you. I find it really hard to rate novellas because they're so short, but this one was fun and it was interesting, so I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, which for me means I liked it. I thought it was good. I recommend it for people who like spicy romances and who kind of why choose, I guess. I did end up just picking up this novella on a whim. I was in a mood reading funk, so I went on to Kindle Unlimited and I just picked out a random book, and this is what I ended up reading. It's really funny because it led me to my next read, which was Losers Part 1 by Harley LaRue. So it turns out that the novella, The Dare, was really popular and it kind of really was a hit. So the author decided to take her little novella and make it into a 2-part duology romance series. So I was like, oh, I finished The Dare. I don't know what to do. So I jumped right into Losers Part 1, which kind of takes place a little bit after the plot of the novella, The Dare. I do highly recommend you read the novella first if you're going to read the Losers duology. It is not necessary, but you definitely will know a lot of what's going on. So I hardcore recommend you read The Dare first and then you go into the Losers duology. So I started Part 1 and this again was really fun. So it was, I think, a few years later, and our female main character, she is back in town and she ends up running into these men from the Halloween party who she has not seen since, and some things happen with her old friends and these guys. They basically did not get along in high school and they still don't get along, and she's kind of caught in the middle, and then things end up happening where she has to pay off a debt to these men, these losers. So they were losers in high school, so that's kind of where the whole name of the books come from. Oh, JJ's outside. Don't let me forget. I have to go get my puppies in 5 minutes. Don't let me forget, okay? We'll go through this book and then we gotta check on them because they're barking. But yes, I forgot what I was saying. They were losers, so that's why it's called the losers. They were losers in high school, and basically they have grown into these good men and everything, and she gets mixed up with them and she ends up having to pay off a debt to them and kind of be their play toy until she pays off this debt. And that's what the duology is all about. Book number 1 sets up this duology, and it was really fun. It was really interesting. Again, it was quite spicy. I will say that this book was really fun for me because it is a why choose between 1 female and 4 guys, but also some of the guys are also with each other. So it's several men and 1 girl, but also it's some of the guys together. It's male-male. So that was really fun, especially because I do want to get into more romances, but I'm a little bit intimidated. Not that I don't think I'll like them or anything. I guess I just didn't really know what to expect. You know, as humans, we like to know what to expect. So this was a great way to dabble into romance, along with getting some why choose romance that was FM, because you get a little bit of everything, and that was really, really fun. And also made the dynamics of the relationship really fun, because a lot of different things can happen when we all like to share each other, But yeah, it was quite a spicy book, and it was a really fun read. And even though it was so spicy, it did still include some good storylines and some good plot lines, and it wasn't just all spice. There was a lot of storyline in there as well. There was plot, there was character development, and relationship growth and all that kind of stuff, and there were connections between the characters. It wasn't just like spice, spice, spice. There was definitely plot line and storyline, and I feel like sometimes in these books there's not really, but there was a good amount of plot line mixed in with a good amount of spice as well. I feel like this was definitely a very much like coming of age story. Like you got to see the characters grow a lot, especially the female main character. She grew a lot from who she used to be and then who she wants to be like going forward, and that was really fun to see her like step away from being the bad girl Broly and realize like, hey, I want to go forward and be this different kind of person. And yeah, the relationships really start to develop. You get to see that all these different characters have like traumatic backgrounds, and you get to learn everything about them, and it's really fun and it's really interesting. So I read part 1 and I really liked it. It was very spicy. I would say it was like 4 out of 5 peppers, maybe 4.5 out of 5 peppers, because probably 4.5 out of 5 peppers, because it was very, very spicy. And yeah, I ended up rating it 3 out of 5 stars, which to me again means good. It was fun, it was entertaining, I liked it, it was what I wanted at the time. So 3 stars out of 5, good. I know a lot of people don't think that's like a good rating. That is a good rating for me. So like if I rate something 2 stars, that's a bad rating for me, but 3 stars means like good, average, enjoyed it, liked it, would recommend it for people who like spicy why choose romances. So liked it, would recommend, enjoy this author. Everything I've read by this author I very much like. So yeah, really liked it, and I thought it was a fun read. So that was the second book I read in April and actually finished. Next up, I read my actual first physical book of the month, or I finished my actual first physical book of the month, and that was The Elsewhere Express by Samantha Soto Yumbo. This one, I'm sorry, but this book is so beautiful. Let me just show you, like you can color the inside of this book if you want. I'm scared I'm going to mess it up, so I'm not going to, but this book is so pretty, and yeah, that was part of the reason why I had to buy it. I saw how pretty it was, and I was like, okay, interested, and then I read the synopsis, and I was like, okay, very much interested, so I had to get it, and I picked it up pretty quickly after getting it, because, I don't know, just something about it was really, like, hitting me, so let's talk about it. This book is a whimsy adventure book. It's about a female main character. One day she is on her commute home from work, living a life that's not really her own, and next thing she knows, she ends up on the Elsewhere Express, which is a train that you only appear on when you are lost and searching for your life's purpose. This book was really fun and it was really whimsy. We follow several different characters' points of view and is very out there. There's going to be a lot of magical realism in this book, so expect a lot of just you're gonna have to expand your imagination. It's really fun, it's really whimsy, it's really interesting. The imagination of this author is it's just so amazing. Like, I'm very, very impressed, but I feel like the only way I can describe the whimsy magical realism of this book is like when you have dreams when you're on NyQuil and like everything's a little bit like out there and crazy. That's what I feel like it was like being on the Elsewhere Express. It felt like it was a NyQuil dream. I know, but if you've experienced it, you'll get what I'm saying. But it was really interesting. It was really fun. I definitely had to like take a moment when I started reading it because I didn't know that's what it was going to be like. So I had to like wrap my brain around the fact that I was going to have to imagine all these things that were like not real, you know? So I had to like figure out what all these things meant, and it took me a little bit longer than to like read it because I really wanted to get the experience, but I thought it was so much fun. Well, the overarching theme of this book is finding your purpose in life. There's also an adventure that the characters go on because not all is right on the Elsewhere Express tonight, and things are starting to break down a little bit. So our main characters, they have to go on this adventure to try and fix things and save things, while they're also trying to find their life's purpose. So there's so many different dimensions to the story, and like I said, you get point of views of different characters, and you get to learn a bunch of different things, so it's very, very interesting. I will say that since I was forced to expand my imagination so much and really focus in on that magical realism and all the different visual imagery that I had to create in my head, it kind of took me out of the storyline and the plot line a little bit. I feel like I was so busy trying to imagine all the different scenes and all the different areas and train cars that it took me out of the storyline a little bit. Like, I didn't care quite as much about what the characters were doing because I was so busy trying to figure out what everything looked like to them. So I feel like that did take me out of the story just a little bit. It didn't ruin the story or anything, but it did like take me out of it just a little bit. So I feel like that's something to kind of keep in mind, that you have to kind of balance this plot line with all this visual imagery that you're going to be figuring out. It was a really fun read, and I loved all the different point of views. I feel like the twist at the end was kind of medium, nothing crazy, but like I saw it coming. Like, I definitely saw it coming, but I see a lot of twists coming in books, so that's not surprising. But it was still a good read, and I still enjoyed the twist. I think it was a really fast read. You can read it pretty quickly, other than taking your time to really imagine what's going on. There were a lot of like philosophical lines in there and like things that showed you like the meaning of life and different like life snippets that you can take away from it. So I thought that was really fun that you kind of got some like lessons and some like just like some cute little philosophy lines out of it. It was really, really fun and really interesting. So yeah, I really like this book. I thought it was really fun. So it's not spicy at all. It was 0 out of 5 peppers for spice, and then I really enjoyed it, so I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars, which for me means I thought it was really, really great. I thought it was fun. I do recommend this to most people. It's a fun, whimsical fiction read. Like, it's a fantasy. It's a magical realism fantasy, and I would suggest it to most people, especially if you like that kind of thing. And if you're not really sure if you like that kind of thing, give it a go. It's a really fun read, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So, The Elsewhere Express, honestly, yeah, I loved it. 4 out of 5 stars. Okay, friends, so those are all the books that I read in April, that I finished in April. I started a lot of books that I did not finish. I either just put them aside for now, I'm literally still in the middle of them, or I finished them in May. So we're going to get into my May reads, but first I need to go check on my puppies, because remember, they're outside, remember? So yeah, I'm going to go check on my puppies, and then we will talk about all the books I read in May. In May, I read 7-ish books, so let's go through them. The first book I read in May was actually the only 5-star of the month, and that was The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. This is a novel about a woman who loves to correspond with people, mostly through letters and also through emails, and the book is written entirely in letters and emails, and I thought that was such a fun format. Most books, obviously, you know, aren't written like that, and I thought it was just such a fun way to read the story, and it really made it such a fun read and such a enticing read, because you would like read a letter and it would go pretty quickly, and you'd be like, okay, I can read one more, and then you're like, well, next one's just an email. I can read an email, and you would just keep going and going. And I actually found this book, when I put it down, I did want to pick it back up and keep going, and I just thought it was so fun and so interesting, and I wasn't sure how a book written entirely in letters and emails would work, if there would be like a storyline to it or if it would be more fluffy, but there was such a storyline to it. Like, there was a really good deep storyline to it, and I thought it was really fun, and I really liked that it forced you to pay attention a little bit more, because you had to look like who was writing to who and what the date was and where they were located, and you'd have to keep that in line with like how long it's been since the last letter, because sometimes there'd be like a gap between letters, so you'd have to look like, oh, it's been some time since the last letter, and you'd have to see, like, you'd have to pay attention to that kind of stuff. And there was several different storylines going on at once, but I mean, they did all kind of converge in the end, of course, and they were all about Sybil, our main character's life, but there were several different storylines going on at once, so you go from like one letter and you move to the next one, it'd be like a different storyline, so it kept you on your toes and kept you interested, and it kept your brain working to remember like everything that was going on. I just thought that was so fun and so interesting, and Sybil is such a likable, unlikable character. She's just human. She just has so much going on in her life, and she's just trying to make it through, and she makes a lot of mistakes, and they eat her up inside, and we get to see all that, and it's just so interesting, and I just love it. What really surprised me is that we got a whole cast of characters, and different characters were obviously had different amounts of depth, but they were all fully formed, and they all had like characteristics and personalities, and this all came through letters and emails, and I just thought that was so interesting. So yeah, I absolutely love this book. Like I said, I rated it 5 stars. I loved it. I thought it was so good. I thought it was so fun. I definitely recommend it to everyone. I already recommended it to my sister because I just think it's a really interesting and fun read, and I just thought it was so enjoyable. The twist at the end, I mean, I kind of saw it coming. I definitely kind of saw it coming, but that did not take away from the story. It made it more interesting, and it kind of helped it a little bit for me to like, I'll just say soften the blow. But yeah, it was really fun. It was really interesting, and I loved it. Highly recommend. First book of May was definitely a win. It was The Correspondent. I got it for my birthday at the end of April, so I like picked it up right away, read it right away, and loved it right away. So yeah, really good. Oh, and 0 peppers, not spicy. Next up, I read Darling Daffodil's Farms by Brittany Nicole. This is actually book number 1 in the Hope Harbor series. I believe this is the only book that is out so far. This one is really cute. It is a spring romance. It is set on a... Oh, hold on. I have to go get JJ. He didn't want me. Okay. As I was saying, this is a spring romance. It is set on a flower farm. So it is a tulip flower farm, I believe. Must be a daffodil farm because it's Darling Daffodil's farm. So that was the stupidest thing I've said, but it is a daffodil farm, and there are several different types of flowers on it. So that's why I can't remember the exact type of flower farm that it is, but it was such a perfect setting, and it was so cute, and it's so sweet, and it follows a female main character who comes home after her father's death to help take care of the farm, and when she gets home, she realizes that they have hired a farmhand who is living in her bedroom. She's not happy this farmhand is here. She thinks he is up to no good, and she's going to figure out what is going on. However, as they get to know each other, things turn pretty sweet, pretty romantic, and pretty spicy. So it was a really, really fun story. It was filled with love and secrets and grief. There's definitely a lot of secrets throughout the book. That was kind of a main theme, was secrets, as well as getting through the grief of losing a parent or family member. I honestly wish I could visit this flower farm in real life. It just sounded so cute and so perfect, and like the perfect spring aesthetic. I wish I could go there on a little trip. It just sounds so just idyllic. The romance in this book did move a little bit slow at first. It took a little bit to get into it, but then once the romance started, it got spicy. It got spicy. We had some good spice in this book. I'd say it was probably like a 3.5 out of 5 peppers for spice, because the spice was there and it got there pretty quickly. So that was quite fun if you're looking for a spicy read. A lot of the secrets throughout the book, we didn't find out what they were until the end, which I feel like is pretty normal, but I would have liked a little bit more of like some grains throughout. And then the third act problem, breakup, whatever you want to call it, wasn't that bad. I was really, really nervous that it was going to be really, really terrible, and it wasn't. It was really light, and it wasn't that bad, and it really fit perfectly for this read, so I really, really enjoyed that, and I just thought it was so fun. So if you're looking for a fluffy read, or if you're looking for a springy themed romance, Darling Daffodil's Farms is definitely it. I ended up rating it 3.75 out of 5 stars because I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Again, it was 3.5 out of 5 peppers for spice, so there was some decent spice in it, but it did take a while to get into the spice. You can see I put a couple tabbies in here. I'm slowly starting to tab my books, so you'll see occasionally a few tabs in them, but I definitely thought this was a perfect spring read, and yeah, it was really fluffy, really fun, and I'm excited for the next book to come out in the series. I think it's going to be a fall-themed one, so I'm excited for that. After that book, I picked up Heathen and Honeysuckle by Sarah A. Bailey. I was definitely in a spring romance mood. I mean, I was shooting a video about reading spring romances, so that's why there's going to be 3 in a row here. But I was in a spring romance mood, so I picked up Heathen and Honeysuckle. This book is a second chance romance. It follows our 2 main characters. Our female main character spent one summer when she was young at her grandma's house in this cute small town and has not been back since. When she was there that summer, she fell in love with one of the local boys who ends up going on to be a professional surfer. It is now many years later, and our female main character is about to marry a man that her dad chose for her, and she does not love him. Our male main character accidentally gets a letter that she wrote as a bit of therapy, and he shows up at her wedding and says, "Hey, you don't have to marry him. Come run away with me, and you can get your life back on track to how you actually want it." It was really fun. It was really cute, and I liked that there was such a runaway bride aspect to it. I haven't really read very many runaway bride romances, so that was a fun one. But I will say I have a bit of mixed feelings about this book. I feel like the adventure was fun, the romance was sweet and cute. I enjoyed that we were jumping back and forth between timelines from when she was younger and then the timeline present when they're a little bit older. I liked the romance. I thought it was cute. I liked the characters. I really liked the side characters as well. I liked the found family, but I just feel like it moved kind of slow. Like, not much really happened. They go on like a fun adventure and then they get back to the small town, and I don't know, I just felt like it moved kind of slow in my opinion. I also feel like some of the plot line just seemed a bit unrealistic to me. I don't know if it's just because of the second chance romance of it or what, but there were definitely some moments that just, it felt a little bit unrealistic to me, and there were definitely some cringe moments, some like lines and stuff that I was just like, ooh, you know, like just some hard cringe moments throughout the book, which kind of made me, you know, feel a little way about it. And also, like I said, I feel like it moved kind of slow, as in like not much really happened. It is book number 1 in a series, the Pacific Shores series. I believe there's going to be 4 books in it, and I believe the next ones are going to follow like the side characters in this book. And am I going to continue the series? Probably. I probably am, because I am invested enough that I'm curious to see what happens with the side characters. I want to know their stories as well. So I probably will continue the series. I do believe they're all published. I just don't own any of them yet, so I need to pick those up and get those read. But if you've read any of them, let me know, like, are they worth it? Will I enjoy them? Are they better than this book? I just don't know. Just let me know. I feel like this book, I just had a really hard time with it. I feel like the major problem in the book just felt a little bit silly or unrealistic. I feel like maybe that's just my personality and who I am as a person, and other people might be like, okay, I get that, but I feel like it just was a bit, I don't know, I just feel like they made a mountain out of an anthill. But I also see that our female main character is very much manipulated by a lot of the people in her life, so I think that was kind of showing that in a way. But it was fun, it wasn't enjoyable. The spice level, that's the other thing that got me. So the spice level of this book, I feel like it went from 0 to 100 very, very quickly. Like, very, very quickly. Like, our female main character wasn't very experienced, and then suddenly she was, like, willing to do everything. I don't know, it was kind of, like, out there for me that it was, like, 0 to 100 so fast. I didn't see that coming with how, like, the female main character was written. It didn't really seem like it fit the personality type, but also, like, we wanted some spice in the book, so we got some spice in the book, right? Because of all that, I think it is a 3 out of 5 peppers for spiciness. Like I said, there wasn't much spiciness, but then when we did get spiciness, like, we got some spiciness. And then I think that my rating, oh, actually, I know that my rating was 3 out of 5 stars. It was good, it was fun, it was entertaining enough. It's just some moments were like, you know, like, it might be more of like a 2.75, but, like, I'm engaged enough to want to read the rest of the series, so I feel like that alone just bumps it up to a 3-star, you know? Moving on to my final spring romance in a row, I read In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. This is book number 2 in the Love Light series. Book number 1 was Love Light Farms. This series, I believe there's 4 books in the series, and they each focus on a romance that takes place in a different season. So this is the spring romance in this series, and I really like this book. It was really, really fun. It follows our female main character. She is a social media influencer, but she is feeling pretty burnt out from that life, so she just wants to re-find her happy. And it follows our main male character. He works at the Christmas tree farm from book number 1. He is the farmhand, and he has met our female main character twice in the past, once during a one-night stand at a chance encounter, and then the second time in book number 1. So they are meeting again for the 3rd time when our female main character comes back to the town to try and find her happy. He ends up getting a little bit entangled with the whole journey and ends up helping her find her happy. So it's really cute, it's really sweet. There's definitely grumpy sunshine in here. He is quite a grump and she's quite a sunshine. There's some sweet animals in there. There's a fun Christmas tree farm. The town setting is really, really cute and really, really sweet. I love all the different townsfolk. They make it so fun. I really enjoy B.K. Borison's writing. I think that she's a really entertaining writer. I really like that in this book she gets to re-find herself as they re-find each other, and I really enjoyed watching our main characters get to know each other a little bit better. I feel like there's definitely a lot of lust there to begin with, but watching them get to know each other and really build that connection was really sweet, and seeing that romance grow was really, really cute and sweet. I ended up rating this book 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. I thought it was really fun and entertaining and cute, and I just thought it was a really fun read. I was getting a little burnt out of spring reads at this point because I read 3 in a row and I am a mood reader, so that was a bit hard for me. But I really did enjoy this one and I liked it. So the fact that it was my 3rd book and I still liked it so much to give it a 4-star is very telling. It is a 2.5 out of 5 peppers for spice. There was some decent spiciness in it, but nothing crazy. And I do recommend it to people who like small town rom-coms. There's definitely a perfect little small town rom-com. Like I said, it's part of the Love Light series, and I do plan on continuing the rest of the series. I need to buy books 3 and 4 to continue the series, but yeah, I really liked it and it was a fun spring read. The next book I finished in May was actually my morning book. So when I wake up in the morning, I like to read a book that is not a fiction book, because when I read fiction books in the morning, I don't stop. So in May, I decided to read a poetry book, and that was Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. And this is the 10th anniversary collection edition of this poetry collection, but it is a poetry collection basically just about life and healing and love and abuse and all the things that we go through, mostly as women, but just as humans, and how we can get through them. It's a very, honestly, I loved it. It was a very well written book of poetry. Each section, each chapter was nice and well written. Oh, and there's fun like illustrations throughout, so you can see this poet, she likes to do these like line illustrations with a lot of her poems, so there's some fun illustrations throughout. And since this was the 10th anniversary collection, there's an extra chapter in the end with some really good poems. So there's definitely some really good poems in it. You can see that I earmarked a bunch of the pages that had poems that just spoke to me. And yeah, it was a really nice read in the morning to kind of let you just like open up your mind and think a little bit more, get a little bit more emotional, think about some things from your past, think about some things from your future, think about some healing, just all the good stuff. So it was just a really fun poetry read, and I really liked it. It was really entertaining. I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars because I don't really know how to rate a poetry book. If I liked it, then I guess it's 4 out of 5 stars. If it like changed my life, I guess I would give it 5 out of 5 stars, but I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. I really enjoyed the poem, so 4 out of 5 stars. Very good. And yeah, if you like poetry, I highly recommend this, especially like self-development, self-growth, self-healing, self-journey poetry. This is a great collection for you. Next up, I went and I picked up a book that I had been like halfway in the middle of it. I believe I actually started reading it in April. It was one of the books that I picked up but didn't finish, and that was Rewind It Back by Liz Tomforte. This is book number 5, the final book in the Windy City series. It is a sports romance. It follows our male main character. He is a hockey defenseman, and our female main character, she is an interior designer. It is a second chance romance as well. I read several of those this past month, funnily enough, which I don't really read much of. So it was a month of second chance romances, but it was a second chance romance, and they found their way back to each other after like 6-ish years. They met when they were young, and then they've re-met each other as adults, and it's always been you romance, and it's just so cute and so sweet. Definitely spicy. Again, the spice takes a while to get into, but once you hit the spice, like you got some spice, so definitely pretty spicy once you get to like the halfway point. And I loved it because you got to see all the characters from the first 4 books as well, like grow in themselves and in their relationships, and you got to see Rio, who was in all the other books, finally find love, and you get to see more of his personality and what's been going on behind the scenes all this time, and I really enjoyed that. And Haley, a female main character, she was just sweet, and she had such a hard life, and she was just trying to get by and get herself happy, and refinding her love was just so cute. I loved watching them fall back in love with each other and try to heal and try to get over all the things that happened from their past, and they both had their own traumas that they needed to get over, and I think that was an important aspect of the story, and it was just really good. It was really fun. Again, it was the final book in the Mile High series, and I think it was a great way to end off the series, and yeah, I really liked it. I ended up giving it 4.25 out of 5 stars. It was entertaining, it was fun, it was romantic, it was sweet, it was everything you want in a romance. I loved it. Spiciness, I think I gave it 3 peppers. That's because I have milk and honey pulled up. 3 out of 5 peppers because I thought that, yeah, it was pretty spicy, but nothing outrageous with the spice. So yeah, it was a really fun read. Loved this series. The Mile High series, absolutely love. If you have not read it and you like adult spicy sports romance, like guys, what are you doing? Give it a read. Loved it. So good, so interesting, so fun. Yeah, Rewind It Back was my, I don't even know, like 5th read in May, and 6th. It was my 6th read in May, and yeah, I really liked it. It was really fun. I'm glad I picked it up and finished it, and I'm glad I'm done with this series now. And then the final book that I read and finished in May was another book that I actually started in April and ended up soft DNFing and not picking back up until the end of May, and that was Losers Part 2. So we started this video with the Dare at Losers Part 1. We're going to be ending this video with Losers Part 2. So this is the second half of that spicy romance duology, that Why Choose, with the popular high school female and the 4 losers that she used to pick on. Again, it's many years later, and it's the continuation of the storyline. This one, you definitely get to see the characters' relationships develop into deeper relationships with each other. You get to learn more about the characters, and you also get to see the conclusion of like the action plotline that was going on in the background. So there's definitely like the romance plot lines going on as well as the emotional trauma plot lines of each character, and there's like an action plot line going on in the background because someone is messing with them and they don't know who, and things are just getting higher and higher stakes. So you get all of that in this book, and it's really fun. It's really entertaining. Again, super fast read. Super fast read. Like, you can just fly right through this book, and yeah, it's a really fast read. It's really entertaining. There is plot line. There's a lot of spice, so be prepared for spice. Again, it is Why Choose, so it's 4 men with 1 female. They're not always 4 on 1, like there's 1-on-1 stuff too, and it's also MM, so there's male and then there's male female, and then there's male female. So yeah, lots of different spicy scenes, lots of different plot lines going on, lots going on in this book. Very fun, very entertaining, very fast read. If you're looking for something like that, highly recommend. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Good, exactly what I was looking for. I was just happy to get this checked off and finished. Technically, I finished it June 1st. Today's June 2nd. I technically finished it yesterday, but I wanted to get it in this video since I read the other ones in April. I wanted to just get all of them done and review them all at the same time, so I thought it was fun. I thought it was entertaining. They were all 3 stars for me, which means they were all good. I recommend it to people who like Why Choose Spicy Romances. It is a Why Choose Spicy Romance, so that's what you're getting out of it. Again, there is plotline, there is storyline, there is emotional depth, but it is also a Why Choose Spicy Romance. And there were a couple moments towards the end that were getting a little bit cringe for me. I was just like, excuse me? Excuse me. But yeah. It was good, it was entertaining, it was fun. I liked all the different plot lines, and yeah, I really, really liked that. So those are all the books I read in April and May. I would love to know what you guys read in April and May. Let me know down below, and let me know if you've read any of these books that I read, what you guys thought of them. I feel like it was a good combination of books this past month, but it was definitely a lot of like romance. I've definitely been in like my romance era and a little bit more in like my fiction era. Quincy. And yeah, it's definitely been romance lately, but it was a good couple months of reading. Well, not really. It was a hardcore reading slump month in April, but May went really well, and I'm excited to see what June brings. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so excited to continue reading books with you guys and share my thoughts with you going forward. I hope you guys had a fabulous April and May, and that June is really, really, really good to you. Live well, read lots and lots of good books, and go discover, my friends. Bye! And if you're still here, comment what book you recommend I read in June.